Welcome and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Kindly turn off your cell phones. Please stand for O Canada, which will be sung by Janet Bassignol in English, French, and Gaelic.
O Canada, terre de nos aïeux, ton front est sien, des fleurs en gloria. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, durach dachli, so nas leshi es maies ye darjir, so nas leshi es maies ye darjir.
Father Anthony O'Connor, the University Chaplain, will offer the prayer of invocation.
Let us pray. Gracious God, bless this assembly of graduates, parents, faculty, and staff. This is a day of happiness and celebration. For graduates, their years at StFX are particularly cherished today. At the same time, they look forward to a promising future. Guide them in the years ahead so to draw on their achievements and make the world a better place through service and leadership. Bless this convocation, our honorees, and all those who made this day possible and a day of celebration. Ask this blessing through Christ the Lord. Amen.
Please be seated. The President of the University, Dr. Sean Riley, may it please you, sir, to open this convocation.
Most Reverend Chancellor, distinguished guests, faculty, graduates, family, and friends. The convocation is a great ceremonial occasion, and we are celebrating it in the 161 year of this university's existence. I want to recognize our honorary degree candidates. They will be introduced more formally, but Joe, welcome. Mary, welcome. I also have some other people I want to say a personal welcome to. One is Dr. Vianne Timmins, who is the president of the University of Regina. Where is she? She has her daughter Taylor graduating today. And I'd like to also say welcome to Dr. Kent MacDonald, who will become the 18th president of StFX very shortly. We also have present the Honorable Peter McKay, who has been a real joy to work with on behalf of StFX. He has put an enormous amount of energy into what we have been trying to do in the university and the Coady Institute. Thank you, Peter. And we have Honorable Randy Delory, MLA, MLA for this riding. And Randy, you can do the same. And of course, the mayor of the town of Antigonish and the warden will be happy if you do things. Well, I watched the students coming out of the Olin Center. You all look professional and wonderful. We're all interested in what's happening in the shoe category. And it's wonderful as well to see so many people, friends and family. But I've noticed that recently there are a lot of grandparents attending, and they deserve a special round of applause. Could I ask the grandparents to stand? Now, that, of course, leaves out the parents, but I've noticed, because during the ceremony, the graduates will be lined up, and a very severe voice will tell everyone not to clap for individual graduates. Wait until the whole row is passed. But I've noticed, really noticed, that it's a real problem for parents. And so I like to have an opportunity for the parents to go wild early. And students, you can look around and see if you know some faces. Look around. And parents can stand up and give them a big round of applause. You hear, "Go girl, that's my kid." But maybe getting a little more serious, it is a fact of life that it takes a legion of people to deliver the type of education that StFX delivers. And I think, particularly since this is my last convocation, that I would like in every way I can to thank the faculty first, because the faculty have long-term impact on our students. They have short-term impact and long-term impact. I know in my own case what I had from my faculty at StFX influenced the whole of my life. So we don't know the details, but thank you for faculty for what you've done in the classroom, in service learning, and mentorship. Um, And of course, the students are helped all the way outside the classroom. And I would like to say my thanks to everyone involved in the academic support, student services support, health support, recreation, and all other ways that students are supported in their lives. Now, as I say, Janet Stark, who is the ceremonial officer, she's very strict, but say hello, Janet. Janet Stark came to see me earlier this week, and she told me that this was my 55th convocation. And I paused, waiting for what she would say next. And she said, last chance for some new lines. Well, Dr. McDonald, I will be here next year as a parent, and Janet will give you some new lines to entertain us. I think you'll have to be generous because the students go through it once, the parents usually once, but the faculty and staff has to listen to the same speech 54 times. Well, once upon a time, 18 years ago, I was new and keen in this job. I'm still keen, but at that moment in time, we used to throw receptions hosted by the president of the university and hosted by the president of the student union. And I was tickled pink to be perceived by first-year student as the president of the student union. But it only lasted 2 years. I'm going to tell another personal story. It hasn't been told before except this morning because it happened this summer. If you look at my X-ring, it is an X-ring from the class of 58. I have my own ring for 74, but I wear a 58 ring. And at many alumni events, I meet generally female alumni who say, I look pretty good for a guy from the class of 58. But I wear it because it got emotional significance. It's my father's ring. He worked for the Coady Institute and passed away much younger than I am, overseas, on a Coady mission. And my sister Brenda had this ring for about 15 years. When I come down for the interview, she said, you better put on the ring so that you'll honor your father and your mother. And so I did. Now, the next part of the story is that I lost this ring only once. Some of you will lose it. And it was an odd thing. I lost it in the English Channel. And if you know something about history, Canadian history, the Canadians came ashore at D-Day at Juno Beach. It's a beach that goes out about almost a mile when the tide is out and comes back into to the shore. So it got lost right near when the tide is furthest out. And so the ring passed 9 or 10 days under 25 feet of water. And I was upset because I said that's got some sort of connection with the 17 years of graduates that I've welcomed to the stage or welcomed to the university. So I kept looking, and I almost sounds like I made this up, but on the 9th or 10th day, 500 or 600 yards out from the shore, I found the ring. So it's going to complete the circuit. You will be the last graduates that I will greet on this stage, and after that we'll be alumni together. So that's my little personal story. And I think a lot about it because in this job you get to visit alumni from recently all the way back to the 1930s. And you get to see what comes of a StFX graduate. And I could take all day to describe it for you. But in long and short, you are in an opportunity to treasure your life. Don't think the world is bad and nasty. It's a place where you can fulfill yourself and go to many places that you don't even know currently. As well, you will notice that you're number 4 alumni, class of 4. You will be homecoming with the class of 94, 84, 74, and so on. So in a kind of strange way, I will attend your homecoming because I'm 74. It's a long time ago, 40 years. But the most thing I would like to communicate to you is thanks for all the legion of people who have worked hard. You've worked hard, and you've often had some problems. There is no graduating class that exists that people haven't had financial problems or health problems or family problems or all that it takes to get through. So take congratulations from all of us throughout this day, and it's going to be a pleasure to shake your hand with my English Channel ring. Thank you.
It is my pleasure to introduce some of our platform guests who will not be introduced later in the program. Please hold your applause until all have been introduced. Honorable Peter MacKay, Minister of Justice, Attorney General of Canada, and MP for Central Nova. Honorable Randy Delory, Minister of Environment and Minister of Gaelic Affairs. Mayor Carl Chisholm, Town of Antigonish. Warden Russell Boucher, Municipality of the County of Antigonish. Mr. Albert Julian, Mi'kmaq Elder, Buckangek First Nation. Dr. Kent MacDonald, President of Algonquin College and soon to become the 18th President of StFX. Dr. Vianne Timmins, President, University of Regina. Dr. Steve Smith, Honorary Degree Recipient, 2010. Mr. Timothy Lang, Vice President, Advancement. Dr. Keith DeBell, Associate Vice President, Research. Dr. Robert Vandenhogen, Dean of Science. Dr. Jeff Orr, Dean of Education. Ms. Lynn Murphy, University Librarian. Ms. Shannon Morrell, Acting University Registrar. Dr. Yvonne Grenier, Chair of Faculty. Dr. Charmaine McPherson, Chair of the Faculty of Science. Dr. Denton Anthony, Chair of the Faculty of Business. Dr. Sharon Gregory, Chair of Art. Dr. Tom Mahaffey, Chair of Business. Dr. Steve Baldner, Chair of Classical Studies and Chair of Philosophy. Dr. Greg Katch, Chair of Economics. Dr. Corey Rushton, Chair of English. Dr. Todd Boyle, Chair of Information Systems. Dr. Doug Brown, Chair of Political Science. Dr. Tara Callahan, Chair of Psychology. Dr. Robert Kennedy, Chair of Religious Studies. Dr. Patricia Cormack, Chair of Sociology. Dr. Jim Williams, Coordinator of Aquatic Resources. Dr. Jim Bickerton, Coordinator of Canadian Studies and Development Studies. Dr. Ann Bigelow, Coordinator of Interdisciplinary Studies and Coordinator of Service Learning. Dr. Nancy Forrestel, Coordinator of Women's and Gender Studies. And finally, Ms. Suzanne Russell, Degree Compliance Coordinator. The Academic Vice President and Provost of the University, Dr. Leslie McLaren, will present to Convocation the recipients of University Medals for Outstanding Academic Achievement.
Dr. Riley, I ask you to present the University Medals, symbolic of outstanding academic achievement, to these members of the graduating class. The University Silver Medal is awarded for the highest average in the final 3 years of an honors, advanced major, or major degree program. For the Bachelor of Arts, Casey Susan Jones, White Rock, BC. For the Gerald Schwartz School of Business, the Silver Medal for the highest average in the final 3 years in the Bachelor of Business Administration, Megan Alexandra Vale McDonald from Quispamsis, New Brunswick. And the Onex Corporation Gold Medal for the highest average in the final 3 years of the Bachelor of Information Systems, Craig Anthony Francis Overmars, St. Andrews, New Brunswick.
The Academic Vice President and Provost of the University, Dr. Leslie McLaren, will present to Convocation Joseph Patrick Shannon, upon whom the degree Doctor of Laws honoris causa will be conferred.
Most Reverend Chancellor, I have the pleasure to present to Convocation Joseph Patrick Shannon. Mr. Joseph Shannon has made significant contributions to Canada in both the private and nonprofit sectors, and he has had, and continues to have, an impact on the lives of thousands of people. In particular, he has contributed greatly to our region and has helped make northeastern Nova Scotia stronger. Joe Shannon was born in Sydney, Cape Breton, and has worked and lived in Port Hawkesbury much of his life. His career in business began over 50 years ago, and since 1964, he has been president of the Atlantic Corporation. His companies are engaged in several industries, including TV, IT, trucking, nursing homes, and storage facilities. His transportation businesses have grown considerably, and they operate across North America. He is a former president of the Cape Breton Development Corporation. Joe Shannon has made an impact on so many lives through the establishment of these locally run businesses. They employ over 5,000 people, and he's given back to communities everywhere. Joe Shannon is an inspiration to young people in Nova Scotia. He believes in what is possible by staying in the province. He also has a tremendous belief in education and the capacity he sees in higher education and its students. Joe Shannon describes himself as a truck driver who got lucky. But he also worked very hard every day. His formula for success may be summed up as work hard at something you enjoy, seize every bit of luck that comes along, then the harder you work, the luckier you're going to get. Mr. Shannon's philanthropic activity has been significant, and he has been involved in the construction of and fundraising for the Port Hawkesbury Civic Centre, the Strait Richmond Hospital, and the Shannon School of Business at Cape Breton University. He has been chair of the Board of Governors at Cape Breton University and has been instrumental in leading and raising funds for critical initiatives that have helped students who needed it most. Mr. Shannon has been recognized with many awards and honors. These include induction into the Nova Scotia and Canadian Business Halls of Fame. The Port Hawkesbury Civic Centre opened its doors with the Shannon Studio named in his honor. And Mr. Shannon is a member of the Order of Canada. His first priority has always been family. With his wife, Ruth, who recently passed away, he has 5 children and 14 grandchildren. Mr. Shannon has been helpful to StFX University in past fundraising campaigns, and he has long had an association with this university. Most Reverend Chancellor, for his generous spirit and his contributions to society, his example of hard work, and for living up to the ideals central to StFX traditions of academic excellence and moral and just action, I present to you Joseph Patrick Shannon for the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa.
Academic Vice President and Provost of the University, Dr. Leslie McLaren, will present to Convocation Mary Joanna Boyd, upon whom the degree Doctor of Laws honoris causa will be conferred.
Most Reverend Chancellor, I have the pleasure to present to Convocation Mary Joanna Boyd. Ms. Mary Boyd has led a life dedicated to social justice in Atlantic Canada and internationally. A community activist, teacher, and defender of human rights, her leadership has been a shining example of the StFX commitment to the moral and just betterment of society. Mary Boyd was born in West Lakeville, Antigonish County. She graduated from StFX, earning a Bachelor of Arts in History in 1960, followed by graduate studies at the University of Edinburgh and Acadia University. She has also participated in several training programs at the Coady Institute of StFX and at the International Ecumenical Center for Development of the Peoples in Paris. Ms. Boyd became involved in the American Civil Rights Movement when she went to the United States to study at Grailville Community College in Loveland, Ohio. While in Cincinnati, she worked as the only white staff person at a YWCA. It was in Cincinnati that she heard Dr. Martin Luther King speak, and she marched with him from Selma to Montgomery in April of 1964. Ms. Boyd then went to Africa for 6 years to work as a lay missionary in Nigeria and in Ghana, serving as the co-director of the women's program of the National Catholic Secretariat in Lagos, Nigeria, and working in the Archdiocese of Cape Breton, Ghana. Sorry. In 1972, Mary returned home to the Maritimes to continue her social justice work. She moved to Charlottetown, PEI, and became the director of the Social Action Commission for the Roman Catholic. Why can't I say that word? Diocese of Charlottetown, a position that she held for over 20 years. She was the first woman in Canada to hold such a position. While working towards improving the lives of the citizens of PEI, she continued to participate in national and international conferences and workshops in international development and leadership in France, Portugal, South Africa, Kenya, Italy, Costa Rica, the Netherlands, Germany, and the Philippines. In 1979, she co-founded the PEI Health Coalition and remains the acting chair to this day. From 1973 to the present, Mary has been associated with the Canadian Catholic Organization for Development and Peace and has held positions on its National Council, its National Executive, was a member of its selection committees, and continues on in its Charlottetown Diocesan Council. In 1995, Mary founded the MacKillop Center for Social Justice. She has been there ever since, working tirelessly without pay towards eradicating poverty on PEI and preserving the universal healthcare system. Numerous awards, such as the Queen's Jubilee Medal, the Council of Canadians Activist of the Year, have recognized her commitment to social justice, both at home and abroad. She received an honorary doctorate from the University of Prince Edward Island in 1998. Mary is a member of the Order of Canada. Most Reverend Chancellor, for her lifetime contributions to social justice, for her inspiration to young people and all who advocate in the field of social responsibility, and for the honor she brings to her alma mater, I present to you Mary Joanna Boyd for the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
convocation will be addressed by Dr. Boyd.
It's a wonderful honor for me to be here today and to receive this degree, but also to be back at StFX and in this wonderful atmosphere of this campus. And in the last year that Dr. Riley is serving, he certainly is a star, isn't he? And a big congratulations to you, your parents, and your grandparents for this great day, for you have set out on an amazing adventure in an ever more complicated world. The world you face is your world, and if you embrace it and claim it, please do it not just for yourselves, but for others. The principle of the common good states that everybody has the right to life and all that sustains life, including adequate food, water, shelter, health care, education, and just wages. It is the basic role of governments to ensure the common good, and we need to be vigilant to make sure they fulfill that function. If they did, there would be no more hunger. The United Nations Rapporteur for Hunger on a recent visit to Canada observed that we are overloaded with short-term emergency help for people in poverty and very much lacking in long-term help for people in poverty and strategies and social programs that assure people's well-being. So the challenge is to develop a clear long-term vision of what kind of world we want, based on justice for all. Practicing this goal promises a very meaningful and purposeful life. You will never be bored, guaranteed. I know people your age want to help the Global South. So I hope that you will get to know some of the great organizations like Development and Peace, which is inspired by Christ's words, quote, "I have come that mankind may have life and have it to the full," unquote. StFX University has a historical memory from its patron saint, St. Francis Xavier, who embraced the world of his time and reached out especially to those who were left out and ignored, as did great people like Cody and Tompkins and the pioneers of the Antigonish movement. Another Francis, Pope Francis, asks us to scrutinize the signs of the times. Global warming hovers over your generation and over all of us. Scientists tell us that we must reduce our carbon emissions by 40 to 70% by 2050, or the world will be in serious trouble. That's only 36 years away. Also, drastic changes are happening in the world of work due to advanced technology. Another sign of the times is the current world economic system in which the market rules, enabling 85 people to own and control 46% of the world's wealth, equal to the wealth of half the world's population at 3.4 million people. No wonder there are more than 1 billion people hungry and living in fear and desperation in our world. I know you are well aware of these gross inequalities and these imbalances. This reality is a judgment on our world. It portrays a worrisome indifference and a lack of respect for others. We need to hear the voices of those in poverty and feel their pain as they cry out for compassion. We need to restore the truly human purpose of the economy, its ethical function. So rather than this globalized economy with its trade agreements, written by the largest and most powerful corporations in the world. Let's instead globalize equality and solidarity and public health care and public education and poverty eradication and the green economy and peace. When faced with decisions, it is helpful to ask the question, what is this doing to those in poverty, to the marginalized? Is it liberating them or is it oppressing them? Who wins and who loses? There's more than enough resources in the world to make the required changes. What is lacking is the will. I'm sure that you will be making policies and decisions in your lives, professions, and workplaces. At those times, take a glance at your X-ring and ask, what is this policy doing to those in poverty, to the oppressed, to Mother Earth, to equality, and to democracy? This is far more effective than putting Band-Aids on a seriously sick system that desperately needs to be transformed with long-term solutions to tackle root causes. Your accomplishment, which you celebrate today, proves that you can meet the challenges ahead and be life-givers to society. During the Black Plague, the mystic Julian of Norwich had the courage to write, quote, "All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well," unquote. The Indian playwright Arundhati Roy said, "Another world is possible. She is on her way. On a quiet day, I can hear her breathing." I know you'll leave your mark for good on this world. Each of you has a special gift and special gifts that only you can bring. And with that confidence, I'll end with the words of the late, great Acadian folk singer, Angèle Arsenault from Prince Edward Island. "Y a une étoile pour vous. Y a une étoile pour chacun de nous. There is a star for you. There is a star for each one of us. Congratulations and embrace that star. Celebrate these last hours together and enjoy this beautiful gift of life that has been given to you."
Dr. Richard Nemesvari, Dean of Arts, will present to Convocation Dr. Jonathan Rosborough, recipient of the Outstanding Teaching Award.
Most Reverend Chancellor, it is my great pleasure to present to Convocation this year's recipient of the Outstanding Teaching Award, Dr. Jonathan Rosborough of the Department of Economics. According to many students, however, teaching would be too narrow a focus to describe Dr. Rosborough's influence on their academic careers. They would just as easily award him the Outstanding Mentoring Award or the Outstanding Coaching Award, since he shows students how to reach ever higher learning goals both inside and outside the classroom. Since joining the Department of Economics in 2009, Dr. Rosborough has been the pillar of the department's core offerings in microeconomic theory. His classroom teaching techniques go beyond the regular lecture format by actively engaging students in the learning process through the use of in-class experiments. For example, when discussing alternative resource allocation techniques, he uses 6 plastic X pins that resemble the X-ring. He eventually uses a market mechanism to allocate the pins by having students bid on them. The winning bids, surprisingly, often exceed the $2.99 he paid for the pins at the university bookstore, although Dr. Rosborough claims he never collects the money from the students who submit the highest bids. Students have obviously responded to his classroom methods. Enrollment in his courses have almost tripled since 2009. Outside the classroom, Dr. Rosborough has supervised or co-supervised honors theses of students in the faculties of arts, science, and business. He actively engages them in the research process and prepares them for graduate school by showing them how to present their work in an academic setting. For instance, a student had a paper accepted for presentation at a conference in Halifax, and Dr. Rosborough made the trip there to coach him through the process. He also serves as a faculty mentor to the Economic Student Society, in which capacity he has helped organize student-led tutorials for first-year courses, the visits of speakers of interest to students, and all-important social events. Dr. Rosborough has consistently received some of the strongest teaching evaluations at StFX. His students describe him as an amazing teacher, fun, helpful, caring, and compassionate. His colleagues in the Department of Economics describe him as no less than one of the finest economics teachers in the country. Dozens of current and former students nominated Dr. Rosborough for this award. One of them writes as follows, quote, Dr. Jonathan Rosborough consistently goes above and beyond the duties of the typical professor, and I would like to stress that this letter does not even begin to describe all that Dr. Rosborough has done to get me where I am today, nor does it start to depict the quality of teaching that Dr. Rosborough provides. I doubt I would have stayed in university had I not met Dr. Rosborough, and now I can't wait to continue my education. Dr. Rosborough has truly changed my life, unquote. Most Reverend Chancellor, I am pleased to present the convocation Dr. Jonathan Rosborough, a most deserving recipient of the Outstanding Teaching Award for 2014.
All the candidates listed in the program are receiving those degrees or diplomas ascribed to them. Some, however, cannot be present for this convocation. They will receive their degrees in absentia. Members of the audience are asked to refrain from applause until after each group of candidates is presented. Dr. Richard Nemisvari, Dean of Arts, will present to the Chancellor candidates for degrees in arts and music and diplomas in jazz studies.
Most Reverend Chancellor, for the degree Bachelor of Arts with Major, I present to you David Alexander Abraham, River Ryan. Victoria Jacqueline Adams, Oakville, Ontario. Kenzie Kathleen Alloway, Halifax. Hannah Grace Armitage, Ottawa, Ontario. Duncan James Armour, Windsor, Nova Scotia. Amy Miranda Arsenault, Marguerite. Stephen George Baker, Kingston. Brittany Laura Benoit, Petit de Gras. Shane William Berger, Antigonish. Paige Elizabeth Boutillier, Port Hawkesbury. Jacqueline Elizabeth Breen, Abercrombie. Caitlin Alexander Brown, Halifax. Matthew Jacob Burns, Louisdale. Tessa Dawn Burns, Miramichi. Pauline Joanna Cameron, Halifax. Gail Elizabeth Clark, New Glasgow. Chanel Kendra Clow, Gander, Newfoundland and Labrador. Melissa Louise Cook, Lakeville, New Brunswick. Sarah Danielle Cotter, Delta, BC. Joshua Christopher Day, St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. Ryan Michael Doubelstein, Fredericton, New Brunswick. Samantha Lynn Druin, Westville. Benjamin Patrick Flood, Rothsay, New Brunswick. Scott Michael Friel, Dartmouth. Aaron Lynn Fulford, Fort McMurray, Alberta. Rachel Gamrie Garrett, Gananoque, Ontario. Jennifer Dawn Garrett, Rockford, Alberta. Ashley Gail Gillis, New Glasgow. Nicole Catherine Nadowski, Rothsay, New Brunswick. Jenna Marie Haynes, Bedford. Tyler William Harris, Ingersoll, Ontario. Charlotte Patricia Hawks, Halifax. Megan Ashley Hepburn, Truro. Emily Laura Hines, Toronto, Ontario. Kyle Alexander Hoare, Antigonish. Janine Marie Holland, Berwick. Scott Joseph Edward Holmes, Barrie, Ontario. Daniel James Inglis, Collingwood, Ontario. Sonia Lorraine Jukes, Spring Hill. Nicole Rachel Johnston, Brookfield. Taya P. Joy, Ottawa, Ontario. John Baldwin Kilty, Toronto, Ontario. Lauren Alexandra Kinney, Enfield. Ellen Lindsley Langley, Rothsay, New Brunswick. Andrea Christine LeBlanc, Truro. Desiree Erin Janine Lethbridge, Antigonish. Shelby Anne Marie Lockhead, Salt Springs. Devon Glenn Lockhart, Hannah, Alberta. Brittany Marie McCallum, Halifax. Colin Arthur Paul McDonald, Antigonish. Eileen Margaret McDonald, Port Hawkesbury. Jessica Catherine McDonald, Antigonish. Jessica Megan McDonald, Pictou County. Madeline Sarah McDonald, Ottawa, Ontario. Megan Amanda McGregor, Charlottetown, PEI. Okay, so where are we now, guys? Okay, Megan, fire across. Ryan Christopher McIntyre, Truro. Sarah Marie McIsaac, Antigonish. Alicia Renee McKinnon, Stellarton. Megan Elizabeth McMillan, Tidehead, New Brunswick. Morgan Michelle McNeil, Dartmouth. Megan Leona Martel, West Indian Road. Taylor Timmons Mason, Regina, Saskatchewan. Jennifer Colleen Mauger, Descous, Nova Scotia. Spencer McAvoy, St. Albert, Alberta. David Robert McCarthy, Toronto, Ontario. Ashley Teresa McClelland, Markham, Ontario. Eden Siobhan McKay, Guildford, Ontario. Alexander Hugh McKinnon, Truro. Morgan Leanne Miller, Amherst. Catherine Elise Mombaket, Lethbridge, Alberta. Brendan Joseph Morley, Wellington. Kayla Darlene Nagel, Sydney Mines. Elise Nawita Antigonish. Ryan Alexander O'Connell Ladois. Deanna Evelyn Penny Antigonish. John Gregory Pitt Pictou. Curtis Clinton Porter, Denver. Liam James Prost, Calgary, Alberta. Hugo Joseph Rajot, Markham, Ontario. David Jude Rankin, Mabou. Bethany Sarah Reed, Gamble, Newfoundland and Labrador. James Patrick Riley, Kingston, Ontario. Jeremy Lawrence Richards, Bass River. Lacey Marie Robichaud, Weymouth. Emily Michelle Roy, Moncton. Curtis John Rudolph, Port Hawkesbury. Lauren Mary Ryder, Summerside, Prince Edward Island. Michelle Pierre Saad, New Minas. Nicholas Alexander Salahar, Ottawa, Ontario. Elena Maria Saraco, Hillsborough, New Jersey. Mary Lee Elizabeth Celine Savage, Chiboucoma, Quebec. Katisha Madonna Scanlon, Cape Breton. Casey Lee Sentner, Eastern Passage. Amy Marie Martine Shepherd, Allison, New Brunswick. Jessica Chelsea Smith, Sydney. Katie Lynn Smith, Lance. Emily May Solos, Yarmouth. Evan Alexander Sorrell, Antigonish. Hannah Fleming Souls, Toronto, Ontario. Lance Gregory Squires, Louisdale. Jillian Marie Sullivan, Bristol, New Brunswick. Melanie Joyce Sunada, Calgary, Alberta. Stephanie Michelle Tate, New Waterford, winner of the Allard Tobin Travel Endowment Fund Award. Jesse Tanner, 9 Mile River. Jamie Merrill Timberley. Michael Severo Tibolo, Brampton, Ontario. Emily Crystal Van Dusen, Halifax. Elaine Ruth Watt, Burlington, Ontario. Megan Elizabeth Williams, Ingonish Beach. Kyler James Irving Zed, Rothesay, New Brunswick. Most Reverend Chancellor, for the degree, I'll wait. Most Reverend Chancellor, for the degree Bachelor of Arts with major with distinction, I present to you Turner Brian Gunn, Orangeville, Ontario. Heather Margaret Raymond, Halifax. Ashley Jacqueline Williams, Harbour Bushy. Most Reverend Chancellor, for the degree Bachelor of Arts with joint major, I present to you Holly Mae Armstrong, Berwick. Victoria Lynn Oquan, Bible Hill. Krista Karen Bishop, Riverview, New Brunswick. Patrick Ryan Branch, Bathurst. Sabrina Burns, Halifax. Laura Heather Chase, Dartmouth. Dylan Watkins Cody, Antigonish. Matraka Lauren Crowdis, Antigonish. Erin Elizabeth Doyle, Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. Daniela Falconio, Antigonish. Eric Robert Foran, Newmarket, Ontario, winner of the Dr. Annette Ahern Memorial Essay Prize. Tim Gerard Gallant, Stephenville, Newfoundland, Labrador. Karen Eileen Gillis, Antigonish. Kirsty Eileen Gilmore, Dartmouth. Lisa Marie Kirsch, New Minas. Corey Weldon Lata, Dartmouth. Thomas Robert Lutz, Rothsay, New Brunswick. Kaylin Marie McCaskill, Halifax. Ian Lachlan McKinnon, Halifax. Alicia Marie Martin, Tigonish. Kayla Lynn McGrath, Dartmouth. Justine Carolyn Merritt, Sherwood Park, Alberta. Emily Susan Miller, Riverview, New Brunswick. Dodwana Dennis Mafulirwa, Maui. Vanessa Linda Elizabeth Neely, Mount Albert, Ontario. Brendan John Nicol, Pictou. Paul Edward O'Brien, Calgary, Alberta. Emily Kathleen O'Leary, Stellarton. Caitlin Jametree Scanlon, Whiteside. Daniela Alicia Smith, Great Village. Kathleen Mary Elizabeth Tremblay, Sydney. Most Reverend Chancellor, for the degree Bachelor of Arts with Joint Major with Distinction. For the degree Bachelor of Arts with Joint Major with Distinction, I present to you Bridget Ann O'Donnell, Cole Harbour, winner of the Ambassador of Switzerland Book Prize. Most Reverend Chancellor, for the degree Bachelor of Arts with Advanced Major, I present to you Jamie Lauren Harris, Calgary, Alberta. Evan Lanny, Nobleton, Ontario. Sean Robert McLean, New Glasgow. Kennedy S. Murphy, Riverview, New Brunswick. Laura Anna O'Brien, Ottawa, Ontario. Sarah Charlotte Powell, Oakville, Ontario. Emma Louise Rand, Waverley. Shannon Mary Shepherd, London, Ontario. Adam R. Wynn, Cumberland, Maine. For the degree Bachelor of Arts with Advanced Major with Distinction, I present Kelly Diane MacDonald, Waterloo, Ontario. Most Reverend Chancellor, for the degree Bachelor of Arts with Joint Advanced Major, I present Jennifer Lynn Mont, Spring Hill. Tim Michael Schweitzer, Calgary, Alberta. Most Reverend Chancellor, for the degree Bachelor of Arts with Joint Advanced Major with Distinction, Tamara Brianne Saulnier, Middleton. Most Reverend Chancellor, for the degree Bachelor of Arts with Honors, I present to you Caitlin Patricia Eric, Grand Prairie, Alberta, winner of the Hogan Phillips Prize and the Dr. Marguerite Michaud Prize. Natalie Denise Cameron, Tumbler Ridge, British Columbia, winner of the Canadian Sociological Association Award. Kristen Ann Kaviduk, Dartmouth. Flora Megan Doohan, winner of the Department of English Senior Honours Thesis Prize. Donald Drew McQuarrie, Port Hawkesbury. Keely Ann Murphy, St. John, New Brunswick. Lindsay Alexandra Ross, Sydney, winner of the Margaret McGilvery McDougall Prize and the Reverend R.J. McSween Prize. Michael Andrew Stalker, Antigonish. Most Reverend Chancellor, for the degree Bachelor of Arts with First Class Honours, Kevin David Armstrong, Sydney. Adrian Kathleen Bellier, Darlington Island, New Brunswick. Jonathan Joseph Cunningham, Victoria, British Columbia. Kiana Corrine Dornan, Antigonish, winner of the StFX AUT Book Prize. Ruth Maria Hofrichter, Germany. Megan Marie Innes, Red Deer, Alberta, winner of the Ambassador of Switzerland Book Prize and the Reverend Frank J. Mifflin Prize. Most Reverend Chancellor, for the degree Bachelor of Arts with Honours with Subsidiary, Emily Rebecca Anthony, Halifax. Sarah Ann Marin Dodsworth, Ottawa, Ontario. Lily Sinead Nugent-Dwyer, St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. Lisa Victoria Gunn, Antigonish. Christine Herons, Germany. Peter David Haskett, Antigonish. Melissa Ray Horseman, Battleford, Saskatchewan, winner of the C&A McPhee Memorial Award. Melissa Eleanor Jackson, St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. Dragonhider Olfas Dottir, Fall River, close. Eric John Scarf, Milton, Ontario, winner of the Dr. Paul V. Groark Book Prize. Keith Hickling Searing, Oak Park, Illinois. Most Reverend Chancellor, for the degree Bachelor of Arts with First Class Honours with Subsidiary, I present to you Casey Susan Jones, White Rock, British Columbia, winner of the Dr. D.J. MacDonald and Dr. A.B. MacDonald Memorial Prize. Nicholas James Lorette, Chesapeake, Nova Scotia. Rebecca Alyssa McAvoy, Kempville, Ontario, winner of the Argentinian Consulate of Montreal Prize. Catherine Ann Smith, Halifax. Cameron Alexander Warshik, Dartmouth, winner of the Dr. John B. Stewart Scholarship and the Walter Contact Prize. Kayla Joy Wiebe, Chilliwack, British Columbia, winner of the Father Charles R. MacDonald Memorial Medal and the Father Ido Gatto Memorial Award. Most Reverend Chancellor, for the degree Bachelor of Arts in Music, Jazz Studies, Carl Vincent Ladadio, Antigonish. For the degree Bachelor of Arts in Music, Jazz Studies with Advanced Major, William John Sims, Massey Drive. For the degree Bachelor of Arts in Music, Jazz Studies with Honours, Scott David Jennings. For the degree Bachelor of Arts in Music, Jazz Studies with First Class Honours, Brittany Catherine McLeod, Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. For the degree Bachelor of Music Jazz Studies with first class honors, Samuel Galt Dyson, Toronto, Ontario. Bria Isabel Weeks, McKinnon, Sydney. And for the Diploma in Jazz Studies, I present to you Bradley Peter Oquan, Stephenville, Newfoundland and Labrador. Paul Donald Baker, Chester Basin. Adam James Bork, Grafton, New Brunswick. Gary Anthony James Boudelier, Dartmouth. Liam Jacob Buckley, Antigonish.
Dr. Tim Hines, Dean of Business, will present to the Chancellor candidates for degrees in Business Administration and Information Systems.
Most Reverend Chancellor, for the degree Bachelor of Business Administration, I present to you Anthony Brandon Aliong, Trinidad and Tobago. Leslie Dawn Baker, Riverview, New Brunswick. Connor Nicholson Band, Stittsville, Ontario. Rhea Frances Black, Halifax. Wade Michael Bordian, Cole Harbour. Katie Annette Boyle, Afton. Molly Christine Cameron, Bolton, Massachusetts. Ronald Duncan Chisholm, Antigonish. Thomas Joseph Clark, Johnson River, Prince Edward Island. Tanner James Clarkson, Port Moody, BC. Brett Philip Alexander Cogswell, Cape Breton. Reagan Morrison Collins, Rothesay, New Brunswick. Scott Robert Crawford, Toronto. Cody Scott Cuvalier, Lawrencetown. Keith James Daly, Antigonish. Courtney Noel Dixon, New Glasgow. Alan James Doyle, Rexton, New Brunswick. Alexander Jeffrey Drake, Calgary, Alberta. Ryan Thomas Duggan, Fall River. Sandra Patty Dunlap, Antigonish. Jennifer Lynn Farrell, Antigonish. Mary Alexis Fisher McDonnell, Antigonish. Timothy Brower Fitz, Haverhill, Massachusetts. Xavier Robin Foley, Centerville. Mark Joseph Fraser, Kingsport. Jillian Dawn Geddes, Moncton, New Brunswick. Adam Michael Gillis, Howe Center. Adam Gerard Goslin, Aspen. Lane Duncan Green, New Glasgow. Oji Olotawasan Harris Easy, Charlottetown. Nicholas A. Hirschman, Halifax. Jenna Priscilla Jeffrey, Halifax. Priscilla, sorry. U.D. Chung, China. Chanel Eve Johnson, Morin Heights, Quebec. Kai Kong, China. Dustin Graham Kennedy, Lindsay, Ontario. Peter Francis Larice, Stellarton. Bradley P. Lewis, Strathroy, Ontario. Danrong Li, China. Colin Stephen Lilly, Sydney River. Colin Michael McInnes, Glace Bay. Chandra Rochelle McIntosh, Sherbrooke. Catherine Mora McIntyre, Badek. Angela Dawn McKay, North River. Lindsay Marie McKinnon, Sydney. Stephen Joseph McLeod, New Waterford. Shyla Dawn McPhee, New Glasgow. Cheryl Ann McPherson, Antigonish. Rodrigo Andres Madera, Dominican Republic. James Andrew Maxwell, Kitchener, Ontario. Ryan Matthew McCarville, Airdrie, Alberta. Keenan Morier, Lima. Matthew Philip Morris, Halifax. Kyle Joseph Douglas Nutzenberger, Antigonish. Max Patzold, Halifax. Lauren Nicole Percival, Halifax. Yi Chi-in, China. Nicole Alexandra Riley, Fall River. Melissa Mary Paulo Rodriguez, Bermuda. Dylan Patrick Rogers, Moncton. Lachlan Allen Rutledge, Halifax. Matthew Maurice Schlotzhauer, St. Agatha, Ontario. Ryan Michael Sloan, Stellarton. Adam Drew Smith, Antigonish. Colin Alexander Spicer, East Lawrencetown. Justin Harold Stanley, Dascouse. Neil Anthony Stephen, Antigonish. James Durow Stevens, New Glasgow. Bryce Edward Zella, Burlington. Dominique Glenn Talbot, Halifax. Aaron Amanda Jane Turner, Courtney, BC. Thomas Stewart Wadden, Antigonish. Stephen James Walton, Antigonish. Taylor Walter Weeks, Hunter River, Prince Edward Island. Judith Victoria Irving Zed, Rossay, New Brunswick. Chao Cho, China. Yuchi Ju, China. Most Reverend Chancellor, for the degree Bachelor of Business Administration with distinction, I present Rachel Marie Ettinger, Halifax. Mary Ellen Catherine Greenwood, Halifax. For the degree Bachelor of Business Administration with major, I present Danica Julia Allen, Corner Brook, Newfoundland. Donald Scott McKay Bannerman, Barneys River. Luke M. Baxter, Rothsay. Christian Beckett, St. John. Seamus Francis Xavier Boyle, St. John. Connor Joseph Cameron, Apple Hill, Ontario. Caitlin Alexandra Cameron, New Glasgow. Kayla M. Kavanagh, Carp, Ontario. Benjamin Allen Chapman, New Glasgow. Mitchell Wallace Chowan, Rothsay. Derek Christopher Claffey, Red Deer, Alberta. Laura Elizabeth Conrad, Cole Harbour. Nicole Catherine Davis, Bermuda. Jillian Raylene Day, Millville. Robert James Diamond, Riverview, New Brunswick. Ross Daniel Doheny, Rothsay. Aaron William Paul Donahue, St. Stephen, New Brunswick. Karen Allison Duggan, St. Andrews. Nicole Leanne Duplessis, Grand Bay, Westfield, New Brunswick. Brett Andrew Frazee, Avondale. Jai Fu, Antigonish. Mackenzie Hugh Greek, Chester. Zhaoliang Gu, China. Jake Daniel Haim, Dunrobin, Ontario. Brandon Scott Harvey, Lower Sackville. Jiawei He, China. Michael Peter Gerard Hogan, Quispam Sis. Ji Z Hao, China. Chelsea Deanne King, Falmouth. Jessica Faye Latimer, Sydney. Stephen Lawrence Long, Windsor. Molly Cecilia McDonald, Wetaskiwin, Alberta. Sarah Lexine McDonald, Mabu. Robert Joseph Colin Mackay, Rothsay. John Graham McLeod, Sydney. Anna Aileen McNeil, Antigonish. David Lucas McNeil, Neripus, New Brunswick. Emily Elizabeth McPherson, Antigonish. Alexis Danielle Mallette, Toronto. Sheila Louise Manley, Antigonish. Catherine Margaret McAloon, Quispam Sis. Jana Kristen McIntyre, Pictou. Connor Ian McNeil, New Glasgow. Grady Theodore McQuillan, Ottawa, Ontario. Shiyu Mong, China. Andrew Colin Mayer, Calgary. Laura Maria Morera Andrews, Greenwood, Nova Scotia. Spencer Michael Pomeroy, Ottawa. David Jonathan Proctor, Antigonish. Jordan Nathaniel Sellen, Riverview, New Brunswick. Julia Kathleen Stella Spriggs, Dawson City, Yukon. Joya Mary Stanley, Dascouse. Connor Francis Stewart, Wolfville. Samantha Louise Stewart, St. Andrews. Carla Marie Sutton, Halifax. Sarah Jane Sutton, Halifax. Jessica Nichelle Symington, Altona, Manitoba. Brianne Blair Washburn, New Glasgow. Abigail Ann Weber, Summerside. Benjamin James Windsor, New Minas. Xing Zhou, China. Most Reverend Chancellor, for the degree Bachelor of Business Administration with major, with distinction, I present Peter A. Abels, Aurora, Ontario. Deanne Karis Anderson, Halifax. Kristen Flora Boyd, Dartmouth. Emily Catherine Ewart, Ottawa. Leah Renee Gates, Timberley. Danica Christina LeBlanc, Riverview, New Brunswick. Mariah Claire McKeegan, Hammonds Plains. Brendan Peter O'Donovan, Whitehorse. Jensui Shi, China. Catherine Mary Stevenson, Moncton. Kira Bryn Stevenson, Calgary. Tingyi Wei, China. Michael Gareth Windsor, New Minas. Most Reverend Chancellor, for the degree Bachelor of Business Administration with honors, I present Kelly Arlene Evans, Ladner, British Columbia. Hillary Allison Muth, Christina Lake, BC. Ryan William Edward Sharp, Stellarton. Hung Su, China. For the degree Bachelor of Business Administration with joint first-class honors, Megan Alexandra Vale McDonald, Quispam Sis, and the winner of the Dr. D.J. McDonald and the Dr. A.B. McDonald Memorial Prize. Most Reverend Chancellor, for the degree Bachelor of Information Systems, I present Shiying Gong, China. Samuel P. Matthews, Bermuda. Beining Sa, China. For the degree Bachelor of Information Systems with major, I present Yichao Li, Antigonish. Cameron John Russell, Stellarton. Vincente Luis Solorzano, Belize. Han Wang, China. For the degree Bachelor of Information Systems with honors, I present Zhao Lu Liu, Antigonish. And for the degree Bachelor of Information Systems with first-class honors, Craig Anthony Francis Overmars, St. Andrews.
The Chancellor, Most Reverend Brian Dunn, will confer the degrees and diplomas given.
By the authority vested in me as Chancellor of the University, and in accordance with the recommendation of its academic faculties, I hereby admit you to the degrees and diplomas to which you have qualified with all the rights, honors, and privileges thereunto appertaining.
Most Reverend Chancellor, on behalf of the graduating class, Mr. Luke Baxter will address convocation.
Bishop Dunn, President Riley, faculty and staff, family and friends, those watching online, and of course, the class of 2014. Good afternoon. It is an honor and a privilege to speak on your behalf, the class of 2014, at this afternoon's convocation. Today is a day of recognition as we acknowledge our successes and achievements, success that has come through personal sacrifice, personal perseverance, and dedication to both our personal goals and to our academics. I hope that today will be an occasion that you remember fondly for the rest of your lives. Also, it is especially important to recognize the tremendous contributions of Dr. Riley as he completes his 18 years of president at StFX. More will be said by Sarah Dodsworth, but I do want to say what a great impact he has had on the entire Zavarian family. It is important to recognize that today is also a day for parents, partners, family, and friends. If it weren't for you all, we wouldn't be here today. Thank you, Mom, Dad, all of our supporters. This achievement is one that is seldom managed without the support of those nearest to us, and today is a celebration which each and every one of you are very much a part of too. And how about our amazing faculty? We thank each and every one of you, our professors, for their concern, their commitment to their disciplines, and care for us, and especially their friendship. At this moment, I'd like to ask you to stand as we give you guys an ovation. Today, we are united by a shared sense of pride and achievement at what we have accomplished at StFX. Today, we, as graduates of this amazing university, join Canada's strongest alumni group. We have all been told that change is inevitable. As you stand on the border of moving into life beyond StFX, it is certain that change will come. It is very rewarding to see that we, the graduating class of 2014, have completed another important step in lifelong learning. It is important to look back at and understand that we came here as individuals taking our own path, took our own special paths to reach this achievement, one that has helped define us, even though that path may have consisted of a few too many detours to the end. Our StFX memories all started with our first Frosh Weeks. Remember that? Yeah, me neither. On that first day, walking through Oak Crew, I honestly felt at home. I definitely didn't act like I was at home, but you know what I mean. Leaving StFX, each and every one of us will lead a different life, taking a different path. This university has helped develop who we will become in the years to come. And at the end of the day, remember, all roads lead to the end. My advice, utilize and embrace the amazing education and experience we gained from this amazing university in this lovely town of Antigonish. As we graduate in our chosen programs and move on to shape our futures, be proud that we are joining St. Francis Xavier alumni, 43,000 strong. The alumni are everywhere and in every possible field. Reach out to them for support as you move along your new path. So, keep your eye on the prize. I got my degree wondering and asking myself sometimes, why am I doing this? Which has now turned into, how did I do this? And when it comes down to it, our amazing support groups are what got us through this. I'll end this with a quote that is the simplest but most meaningful message to it, something that my dad has told me every day and every time I talk to him. Always be the best you can be. Some words that each and every one of us can embrace and think of moving forward. Thank you.
The President of the StFX Alumni Association, Dr. Andrew Howlett.
Good afternoon, Most Reverend Chancellor, President Sean Riley, Drs. Mary Boyd and Joseph Shannon, distinguished guests, faculty and staff, family and friends, and of course you, the class of 2014. On behalf of the Alumni Association, it is my absolute pleasure to congratulate each and every one of you on your academic achievement and to welcome you all into one of the world's most established and connected university alumni networks. We are delighted to have you on board, and in case you are wondering, the membership is now free. I remember sitting in your seat 12 years ago, and I also remember the many highlights that will follow you this evening and into the early hours of tomorrow. Cherish them. 12 years from now, you will look back and remember this moment with great fondness. You will remember the accomplishments and the wisdoms of Dr. Joseph Shannon and Mary Boyd. You will be embracing your life, your star will be shining, and you will be helping the world serve others, especially those less fortunate. You will remember crossing this stage and being the last graduating class to shake the hands of Dr. Riley in his role as president. You will remember the stories, laughter, and tears that a goodbye to StFX inevitably brings. Rest assured, however, as you will remain connected with the people you've met, you will return, and no matter what new buildings rise on campus or what traditions may evolve, this place will always feel like home. Your alumni association, from the office here on campus to the many organized chapters around the world, promises to keep you connected, to fuel your X spirit, and to provide mentorship to the many opportunities that await you. I look forward to seeing you on stage as a future president of our Alumni Association and quite possibly a future president of our university in the years to come. In the meantime, wherever you find yourself tomorrow or the next day, connect with us. Befriend us on Facebook, write us an email, tweet, hashtag, blog post, like, Instagram, text, or simply just give us a call. Don't hesitate, as we are eager to support your journey from here any way that we can. I'd like to ask all alumni and friends of alumni to stand as we congratulate one last time class of 2014 on a job well done.
The president of the senior class, Ms. Sarah Dodsworth.
Good afternoon to Chancellor Dunn, Dr. Riley, special guests, fellow graduates, family, and friends. Today is not only a special day for members of the class of 2014, it also marks the last convocation for StFX President Dr. Sean Riley, who is retiring after 18 years of service to StFX. StFX saw many firsts during Dr. Riley's tenure, including being consistently ranked as the nation's leading academic university with the top reputation from coast to coast for an undergraduate institution. His legendary leadership is renowned not only through StFX and Antigonish, but also across the country and beyond. Dr. Riley is known for his unmatched commitment to creating the very best academic learning environment at StFX. The StFX experiential learning and leadership opportunities are unmatched and part of the great StFX tradition. He helped transform StFX into the most beautiful campus in Canada, a state-of-the-art campus with a national reputation for academic excellence with Canada's premier student experience. He also made it his personal mission to interact with every student, from shaking hands as they arrived on campus to when they crossed the stage at graduation. He meets every student on Welcome Day and every student at Convocation, and I can tell you from personal experience that he interacts with students a great deal in between. He's the first one down the Jello slide, and he's also at many different student events across the campus. There are 44,000 alumni, and that means that Dr. Riley has been our leader for almost 50% of all alum, or 20,000 students. There are so many Dr. Riley stories that could be shared, and I'm sure my peers in the audience all have a few of their own that they will be happy to tell you later on. I'm going to take a minute to share a story that I have of Dr. Riley. And this story is an important part of my StFX experience because it cemented in my mind that I was at the best university in the country. The day before move-in day in my very first year, I was shopping for some food at the grocery store with my family. Coming from Ottawa, I was very nervous, to say the least. And as we walked through the aisles of the grocery store, I spotted Dr. Riley. He was pushing a cart. I think Justine was there with you. And he was stocking up on groceries for his family. I nervously said hello, and we had a brief conversation in the aisles of the grocery store. I told him I was starting at StFX the next day, and I shared a few details about myself, where I came from, that sort of stuff. And he was very gracious in calming my nerves and getting me really excited for the years to come. After our conversation, we parted ways. We finished up the grocery shopping. It was a great trip, I remember. The next day, as I wove through this very room with my family, holding them tight, I again spotted Dr. Riley over there by that door, waiting to shake everybody's hand. This in itself was very impressive to me, that he was waiting to greet everyone. What was more impressive was that once I got to the front, Dr. Riley not only recognized me from the day before, but also remembered the details of our conversation, and again, greeted me warmly to the StFX community. In this moment, I realized that I was in a good place, a really, really good place. If the president of the university was taking the time to connect with each student, even a brand new first-year student from Ottawa, and remember the details of a conversation, then I must be in a good place. I have since learned that under Dr. Riley's leadership, this personal attention and the sense of caring and togetherness that this campus has and that is felt across the alumni network is a truly unique feature to StFX, and one that I am very grateful for. There are also many Dr. Riley stories that have emerged from the Golden X Inn, but I'll let him tell those a little later. Dr. Riley has been honored many times. In 2012, he was inducted into the Order of Canada for his community leadership and for guiding StFX through almost 2 decades of growth. It is my pleasure today, on behalf of the graduating class, to recognize Dr. Riley for his outstanding contributions and his legendary leadership at StFX. Congratulations, Dr. Riley, and thank you for all that you have done for StFX and for us.
The Chancellor of the University, Most Reverend Brian Dunn, will close convocation and offer the benediction.
Special guests, graduates, and all who are connected with St. Francis Xavier University and Coady International Institute. First of all, congratulations to the graduates of 2014. Congratulations as well to those who have received honorary recognition for your service to the larger community, Mary Boyd and Joseph Shannon, and also this morning, Dr. William Stanish. One of the concerns of young people, and in fact for all of us, is the issue of identity. What does it mean to have an identity? How do we form and discover our identity? What does it mean to have our identity stolen or lost? How do we affirm our identity? These are the questions that underlie some of the activities in which students get involved as they attend university, and certainly as they've gone through this university here at StFX. As well, these questions emerge in the midst of relationships, in the decisions about what one wants to study, in the decisions about how one spends one's leisure time, and certainly what groups we belong to. The issue of identity also applies not only on a personal level, but also to organizations and institutions. This past week, a new act of incorporation was passed in the Legislative Assembly of Nova Scotia. And that act of incorporation describes the identity of St. Francis Xavier University in ways that were not previously done. The act includes 4 objects describing the purpose of the university as an academic institution committed to a holistic education of its students. I acknowledge the role of Dr. Riley in achieving these objects with his wonderful leadership, his zealous service, and above all, his amazing hospitality, as mentioned earlier. The 4th object refers to respecting the Catholic heritage and character that have formed a vital part of the university's history. This is the part of the identity of this university. This will certainly call for all of us to reconsider how we connect to the essential identity that has been articulated for the university. Many alumni have given personal testimony of what they have learned by being at this university. Some have stated that they've learned to take responsibility for others. Others have been quite involved in social justice and social action. Part of the identity, ethos, and spirit of St. Francis Xavier University emanates from its very founding by the Bishop of the Diocese of Antigonish in 1853, and its ongoing relationship with the diocese. Many core human values are already present here at the university and can easily be recognized. We also need to strengthen this identity and affirm that the university has indeed a Catholic character and a tradition. And so we ask ourselves some questions. Is this Catholic character part of the branding of the university? How might each person connected with the university affirm this aspect of the identity? How might the graduates of this university live up to the motto of whatsoever is true? How might the Catholic character influence the Coady Institute as an institution for social change, with appropriate reference to the Catholic social teaching which inspired Father Moses Coady and Father Jimmy Tompkins? In what ways might the chaplaincy program be a platform for a strong, facilitating outreach to other denominations and other religions? How might the board take steps to ensure the Catholic character of this university? Are there ways that the diocese can cooperate with interested partners at StFX to explore questions that affect the church today? How might the Catholic faith contribute to StFX students today to assist them to be responsible members of society? or what support and encouragement would best serve the students today to assist them to grow and mature in their own spiritual lives while here at StFX. I believe that we are at a watershed moment as we consider the identity of this university. As with any search for identity, once one discovers and lives one's identity, there's a sense of peace and self-fulfillment that emerges and gives confidence for the future. At this convocation, let us be grateful for the people who have assisted us in our search for identity, our parents and grandparents and families, our professors, our friends, those who have provided essential support throughout your daily lives here at StFX. May this time at St. Francis Xavier University continue to form you as you face the opportunities that will present yourselves in your own lives. Let us pray. Gracious God, you are the gift of all, you are the source of all gifts. You inspire every good work, and through you, we are given the strength and guidance to complete every task. In your wisdom and love, you surround us with the mysteries of the universe, and you give us all that we need to discover these wonders. You continually send people into our lives who assist us to discover your truth and to help us appreciate our relationship with you and with one another. Send your Spirit upon this year's graduates of St. Francis Xavier University. Fill them with your wisdom and blessing. Grant that as they graduate from this university, they may persevere and convey whatsoever things are true. May that truth guide them as they care for all creation and seek the reconciliation of all people in the midst of an ever-growing diversity. Help them appreciate the dignity of each person as they seek to find the way to live together as one human family. Give them gratitude for all who have supported them. Give them a delight for all that they have learned. Give them a desire to share their knowledge with gentle patience. Give them the courage to endeavor to bring the truth to eager minds. We ask this blessing through Jesus Christ, who is the way, the truth, and the life forever and ever. I now proclaim the closure of this 161st Convocation of St. Francis Xavier University.
Members of the audience are asked to remain in their places until the academic procession has left the hall. The platform party will leave first, followed by the faculty, and then the graduates. The procession will move directly outdoors. We ask that those in the procession move well away from the main entrance to the Keating Center. Thereafter, guests are asked to leave the hall as promptly as possible so that the hall may be prepared for this evening's gala. Once again, thank you parents, families, and friends for joining us, and a special thank you and congratulations to all of the StFX graduates. We are so proud of you.